Okay, I'm calling the meeting to order. I will take any corrections, deletions, or additions to the minutes of February 21st. If none, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Norton approve,
Second.
Bannon second. Any comments? All those in favor, roll call. I'll start it this way. Ms. Andujar.
Yes.
Mr. Meyer.
Yes.
Mr. Norton.
Yes.
Mr. Chamberlain.
Abstain, wasn't present.
Mr. Gibbons.
Yes.
Ms. Smith will abstain. She wasn't here. Mr. Bannon.
Yes.
I will also abstain. I was not here.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's right, you were at the game.
right.
No,
Okay.
don't have to be roll call, it's for all in person.
Oh, we don't have to do roll call anymore? Yay,
As long as they're all in person.
okay. First parks request. What do you want to do, yoga again? Good grief, can't you break it up a little bit, change it up? So,
We could do baseball.
no, I don't think you do baseball there. Okay, we are talking about the Great Barrington Land Conservancy and Lakefield Mansfield. They have requested to use Lake Mansfield for spring, summer, and fall yoga on the aforementioned dates. Anything special you want to talk to us about that?
The only question I had is we talked in the fall at some point about the possibility of regrading that area because it's getting a lot of flooding and the ground is very hard. And some of my older participants are having trouble being stable on there. And I was under the impression that that was going to happen this spring. And if
So
it's not.
we have it on our list. There are some pothole areas up there that need to be graded in the lawn area.
And so then my only other question with that is if I could get, I can give you my contact information, just like a day or two advance notice so that I can figure out if you're working there. And actually, I'm assuming after it's seeded, we're gonna have to move up to the lawn or someplace else so that that can
Okay.
grow in. But I just need to know so I can figure out and get a sense of
Okay.
the number of people who
Yeah.
are coming.
I think it could have the Lake Mansfield Committee there recommended we do some grading up there or something.
Is that on your schedule?
We're on that though, because Chris had mentioned it. Yes.
Yeah, because when it from the beach, it comes up and. then
I
it gets
understand.
down.
It gets a little crater-like.
Yeah.
So that's on your schedule. Okay, great. So
So that's
your
it.
people can talk to his people and vice versa. Any other questions, concerns, or issues from anybody on the committee? I'll take a motion.
Second to approve.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? No. Pass. Next. Housatonic Improvement Committee, you want to use in case of rain. You're late. It's already been approved. What? Yeah, I did. Sorry. Mr. Tonetti,
Oh,
are you ready to discuss the Little League and the new document?
sure.
I see I've got an amended document. And Mr. Aberdale, I'm going to read part of it because this is directly to do with you. The lawnmower tractor use as of March 20th, 2023, Great Barrington has never received a key and thus never had an opportunity to use the aforementioned tractor mower and has not been responsible for any negligence that may have occurred in the past. Moving forward, once a representative from Great Barrington League has issued a key and given necessary instruction on the tractor's use, the league commits to replacing the battery if it dies during the season due to negligence by one of our trained operators. So I would strongly suggest that we need an in-service on the mower. Okay. And Mr. Tonetti is, identify yourself so Mr. Aberdale knows who you are. And I see Mr. White and Ms. Storty and Mr. Tonetti, you're all here with the agreement that I forwarded to the committee, that the only addendum was basically changing Aberdale's name and also the whole key issue. So what I'm getting is, what I want to know from you guys is, I've had documents before from Little League. I've had promises from Little League and I've ended up beating my head against a wall. What are you going to say to me or to this commission that we're not going to have to go through what's gone through the last 2 years on those baseball fields?
Well, to reiterate what we talked about previously was, in the past, we hadn't hired someone and committed to hiring someone at both the front of the season and the end of the season. And so some of this stuff was addressed last month when we were here, which we can double back on. But from my understanding, we have now committed to hiring someone to weed the fields before we start. with coordinating with Joe, Mr. Aberdale. And then at the end, we sort of write off when we're leaving that they've been reworked and re-weeded at the end of the season, should we do that?
Who's gonna weed it during the season?
We have to do that.
The Little League is committing to having it weeded during the season. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, we tarp it, we drag it.
Okay,
tarp it, we're responsible for keeping it up.
okay,
We also spoke with Mr. Aberdale after the meeting last month, and we talked about, because in our document, it says we would close it no later than November first.
Maybe.
We wanted to keep it open till November first in case there is a fall ball league.
okay,
But with the understanding that if Little League decides to close it on June 30th, we would meet with Joe at the field, kind of like this is what it looks like. This is what it is now. We understand that if we're closing it in, June 30th, as opposed to November 1st, that we're gonna have a bigger mess in the spring, but the town and Little League agrees that this is how we're leaving it. We know that we have to clean it up and almost like
Whatever we
yeah.
have to do.
Okay.
It's like renting a car, this is the
Yeah.
condition we're getting it, and the scratch here.
I just, historically, I just wanted to read, Mr. Aberdale, are you happy with that?
Yeah, so after whatever time you decide to leave, say you leave in June, what's gonna happen there for maintenance is just normal, once a week mowing.
Mowing, and we, as a league, accept that
Right.
if we close it and we're done with it June 30th, April 1st is gonna be a lot more work than it would be if we closed it November 1st, but
Okay,
we would meet together and agree that this is the condition we're leaving it in, and come April 15th, we said no later than April 15th, just giving us. some-
Ms. Sturdy, I have a question.
Why-
What in the name of God are you doing here? You told me you were done.
Well, because I officially resigned in August,
Yeah, and now,
I'm not the president anymore.
but you're back.
I don't think I ever actually left.
All right, I just wanted to know how committed you are. No, I'm happy to see you here. I am happy to see the three. I'm looking, Mr. White, Sturdy, and Tonetti. This is good. Okay,
Motion to approve.
second,
Second.
all those in favor,
I got a couple questions. I wanna ask you.
go.
Are there any plans to have anything that involves the whole county Little League organization, like tournament?
Like the All-Star tournament? Not
Not
at this,
this year.
no, definitely not this year. But I think we also talked about if that were to happen again in the future, that we would notify the town much earlier than it happened the last time.
You.
That's
Because
why I'm
that's
asking that
usually-
question.
it's typically decided, I think, right about now, around this time in the county of where the All-Star tournament, the district tournament is going to be held. It will not be held down here this year. It's at least, I think, a 3 or 4 year rotation. If we were to accept it, it wouldn't be for another 3 years, I believe.
Great.
But early notification would be the key in that case.
Next question.
My second question involves the concession stand, which is not something that the town built or has really anything to do with. But my concern is that the safety of the food being served, when I see that outside of the building itself are left in all kinds of weather, and they may still be out there now, the grills and everything like that, which raises the concern of, the health of the stuff that's being cooked there, because it could involve liability to the town.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you know this, I believe the health inspector comes down and inspects it before we start for the season. I believe.
They would typically.
I will say
Yeah.
that the grill is not left out there all winter long. We do have it stored
Okay,
at my brother-in-law's place. My wife is serve safe.
Yeah,
Okay,
She cleans that grill.
I got it.
yeah, but I'm
I
fairly
got it.
certain that
Okay.
it's inspected before we start.
There would fall under the Board of Health.
What else?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Mr. Aberdale?
So, on the concession stand, are we on the same page that it's the Little League that?
Mhm.
Yeah, so as far as maintenance and painting and stuff like that, it does need a little attention. So do our buildings down there.
Mhm.
So as long as you have that on your list at some point.
What do you have in mind?
But I think just look at it. I think it just needs some paint and it's, just to preserve it. It's an investment. And the other thing, the commission's approved, delivering one load of the infield mix. We're just waiting for the weather to get better.
Thank you.
And again, if you think that we need more, we'll chip in for the second one.
We'll talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we talked about last one.
okay, great. Now, all those in favor of allowing Little League to do their stuff with no incidents? Aye. Any opposed? Great, passes unanimously. Pick and roll.
See,
Oh, who's the top? Why am I'm having vision. Housatonic, Bobrisky Park for Saturday, June 10th is the rain date. Is anybody here? Solves that problem.
no,
Table.
there is, Angela's right here on. the-
Where?
Zoom,
Speak up.
just unmute yourself, Angela.
Hi, thank you. Hello?
Yeah, you want to use the Housatonic Community Center on Saturday, June 10th as a rain date space, am I correct?
That's right. We have permission to use the park from the select board. And only if it rains would we want to move inside.
What?
I think we gave an entertainment license.
You gave an entertainment license.
Oh,
Okay, Angela, you got an entertainment license. You didn't get permission because that's not the selectmen's purview. Their entertainment is one thing, but you need to come in front of this board in order to use it for that 10th. The problem is going to be, I can feel it coming, is that day is also a day that somebody else is asking for, and they will, if we give you permission to use that for rain day, they will not be able to use it that day. You understand? Pick and roll? You're not Patrick Canavan, I know that.
Yes.
There you are.
And I understand.
You're clear on that.
Yes,
Okay, I'll get to you in a minute.
that's fine.
Okay, any other questions, concerns, or issues about a rain date for the Hoosie Dome, for the Housatonic, the beautiful Bobrisky? I'll take a motion,
motion to allow them to use the park or the community center on June 10th. from
weather
9 to
depending.
4. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay. Pick and roll. Who are you and where are you coming from? What, I need to know who the players are. I need to know the people that are gonna be playing in the gym, who they are.
Well, I can provide you a list of all the names. I would say 90% of them are from this area, Great Barrington, Hoosie, New Marlboro. They're all Monument, Mountain, Berkshire Hill, it's like about 4. And that's been the same pretty much case for the last 10 years.
Right, but you guys didn't use it the last couple of years.
We stopped during the.
Yeah.
This approval during the pandemic, but
Right.
then shut it down. That's right.
Okay,
So it's, mostly the Berkshire Hills kids.
well, here's the problem. Mr. Chamberlain, since you're in the back of the bus, can you tell me when is basketball stopping?
Housatonic League,
Yes,
it's done.
compete.
Yep.
Okay, great. So if we let them use it at that time, it would not be any,
No,
that's good. That's,
Karen, I wanted to add 2 quick things on our request, which is the exact same as last year. But I see on the agenda, there's potential conflict with lacrosse and the men's league. So in the spirit of being a good partner and tenant, we can make accommodations, give the lacrosse those Thursday nights that they've requested. And whatever Mr. Jordan may get approved, we could partner with him. If he got a Saturday, I would take a Sunday, or vice versa. I don't want to keep anybody out of there.
okay, well, we'll go forward because there are a lot of concerns going forward with this whole issue. So you want to use it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 to 9 and Saturday from 9 to 12.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
It says Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday on this.
Then I'd like to update that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I know, I'm looking at the agenda.
Yeah. the agenda.
So what is it, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday?
Yes.
Carolyn, make that awareness, because this schedule coming up is gonna be a nightmare.
Right, 'cause it does, the request form does say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I know, but I'm looking at the
Yeah,
agenda.
I know.
I'm trying, I can only look at one day.
That's
Okay.
why I looked at the other.
Any questions, concerns, or issues with this request at all?
Yes.
Go for it.
Can you tell us exactly what this program is?
Sure, it's a basketball program, so we have two teams, we have an under 16 team, and then we have a senior team, 17. We travel all throughout New England. Last year, we went to Indianapolis and played in.
So this is similar to AAU,
Yes.
or it is AAU.
It's AAU, but we also do skill development work, and then what we want to do now that the pandemic is, hopefully behind us, we could scale a little bit more and open it up more to the youth as well, which would not be affiliated with AAU, it would just be us giving our time to work with the kids that want to show up. And the short version on that is the pandemic, after watching probably 100 youth basketball games in Berkshire County this year, our youth kids in basketball are way, way behind. So we think it's a great opportunity to just kind of continue to work with them.
And the participants in this team, on these teams are drawn from where?
Just college that.
So again, 90% are from here, they're Monument Mountain
Right.
kids, Berkshire County kids. There's 2 from Dalton, 1 from North Adams. And 2 from-
Okay, I just,
Yeah,
so they're from outside
5 of
the
them.
town community.
5 of them are, yes.
Okay,
5 out of the how many?
I think that's, depending on the final roster, Karen, about 18, 19.
Okay. Mr. Aberdale, would these people need to fill out a waiver?
Do you currently carry insurance?
I do, every year I do it through Wheeler and Taylor, and the town has it on file, yes, I do.
So
every year.
we'll do the waiver. We'll make up a specific waiver if you want for that.
Yeah, anybody who's using the Who's Dump is gonna have to fill out a liability.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine, that's fine.
okay.
What's
Alana,
the cost associated with it?
For the travel teams, it is, we charged $200 per player last year. A quarter of them were on scholarship. And then the short version is our expenses last year for the whole program were about $15,000, but that was all self-funded by donations from family and friends. So we keep it as inexpensive as possible so the kids can participate.
When you say scholarship, that's for some.
Yeah, Pick and Roll is my nonprofit. So for those kids in our community that can't afford it, I support them 100%.
That's what I want for.
Yeah, so for example, half of those kids last year would not have been able to go to Indianapolis when we were able to fund that. for
Okay.
them.
so nobody is restricted because of lack of funds.
Absolutely not.
Got it. Good.
one, I have a concern that allowing this for this length of time that we could have unforeseen problems, and I really don't wanna have us vote to tie this up for this length of time at this particular moment, that maybe we can break this up into sections and give them permission to use it for a length of time and then have them come back with a request for more time if needed.
It is
This
7
one is
months.
a long, I mean,
It
it's what,
is.
10
That's
months,
it's a-
6 months.
But it isn't prime time
It-
for
it
basketball.
Yeah,
is.
It's not.
And
no, I know.
I would be open to doing whatever I can to be a good tenant, and just keep in mind, you got 20 kids that are working their butt off and that are not on the street screwing around. We've got them in that gym. By the way, we've got 5 kids from our program that are playing NCAA basketball right now. We have 5 other in the pipeline, so this is more about just getting in there and playing basketball. We're really trying to be mentors and leaders.
Okay.
I also have one more request of it, that I need to run by you, Karen.
No, you need to run it by us. Let me get one thing settled at a time. Is anybody else feel that they want to not allow this to happen for the amount of time to echo Mr. Gibbons' concern? Okay. Nobody else does, so we can vote on that motion as it is. Now, what's your other
Just
request?
a quick one. I would like to donate a portable basketball to the Who's Dome. It would be good for us, but most importantly, it would be good for the Who's Youth Basketball Organization. As great as the gym is, it's really small.
Wait a minute, I gotta ask, Matt, would you like somebody to donate a portable basketball rim to your program?
It'd be great help, yeah.
Good.
With only 2 hoops in that gym.
All you gotta do is say yes.
Yeah.
That's good. Good.
So my question to all of you is, what would be the process? Do I give you the proposal, the specs? Because one thing I would need, Mr. Aberdale, It's portable. I would just need to get it into that side door and there is a bar.
That is Mr. Aberdale's, and if the commission says we'd like to accept it, and it comes with all the specific specs and its safety issues and all that other stuff, I am sure that Mr. Aberdale and Mr. Steve Larkin and John Malumpi could make sure it gets in there.
All right, so I would send it, confirming it, send it to Mr. Acker.
I would check with, yes,
Okay.
Captain DPW as we
You got
refer
it.
to him.
Thank you. All right.
Any other concerns or issues? I'll take a motion on pick and roll.
Approve.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. It's unanimous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Tom Jordan, are you here? Is he here?
He's on. Yep, he's.
Okay,
There he is.
so you want more time for the adults to play basketball?
Yeah, we were just considering like, and to add to the gentleman who was talking about pick and roll, we're flexible. We start really early, as you know, Karen. So we would start at 7:30 on a Saturday and go to like 8:45 to 9 o'clock. That's it. Because some of the guys
Well-
work during the week, so it's hard for them to make some of the days.
No, I would like to have that all sort of in one day, because there is, I know that there's the pickleball wants to expand to a weekend day, so if we've got all the basketball on Saturday, then pickleball could go on Sunday afternoon. So would you have a problem? I mean, if you want to play basketball at 6:45, I have no problem. Is there anybody on the commission who has a problem? You have been responsible up to this juncture, have you not?
I believe so, yes.
Make a motion to approve from 6 AM to 9 AM on Saturdays.
6 AM to 8:45. You want to start at 9, right? Roll and pick. Oh, pick and roll doesn't care.
We'll go whenever.
All right,
No,
And the
Karen, we're looking at 7:30 to 9. That's it.
7:39. I think that's a very reasonable hour. Anybody have any questions or concerns about that?
What's the time frame as far as?
How long do you want to do this, Tom?
As long as the
October.
committee can provide us.
No, that's all right.
Was that a diplomatic
You have not
response?
put yourself in front of me, my friend. I'm gonna tell you what, you get to go to October 31st, just like pick and roll.
That's fine. That's cool.
And then
Thank
you gotta come back and ask and make sure you've been a good boy.
I thought you were tired of seeing me.
No, I'm never tired of seeing you, Tom. Okay, so let's make it through October 31st, shall
That's
we?
fine. Thank you so much.
Saturday mornings.
And when would
All
that
those in
begin?
favor? Quiet. All those in favor? Aye, we're good. Thank you.
Whenever you want.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
not today.
All right, thank you.
Lengthy request, if we have someone that wants a one-off event or something like that, would you be open to us?
Yeah. We did it with
Yeah.
yoga.
There may be a time where somebody needs it for Saturday or something like that, and we'll yank you guys or give you a heads up ahead of time. Okay,
They're flexible.
yeah, that's right. That's it. Mr. Rogers.
No.
Warren.
Youth lacrosse. You're
Oh.
dyslexic.
I know, my brain is shot. Who's here for Great Barrington Lacrosse?
Hi, I'm on the Zoom call.
Okay. Why don't you explain this?
Okay, so I am looking for indoor space for a few days of the week while the ground is not in shape for use by a lacrosse team. So last year, my son signed up for lacrosse. We thought it was going to be out of Lee. It ended up being out of Cheshire. So I have sort of organized a South County program through Berkshire County Lacrosse, which we have some space at Berkshire School, which is excellent. But that space is outdoors, but on days when it's just one day a week, we're looking for 4 weeks until they're fully outside for some gym space.
Lauren, I have to tell you something. I have a little understanding about lacrosse. The wear and tear on
Yeah,
the
that's
floor
what I'm
at
concerned
Housatonic. I would not approve that. And I don't know how anybody else
They-
feels on the
I wouldn't
commission.
either.
I will
They
tell you
would-
that
They wouldn't wear cleats. They would wear sneakers and it would be a conditioning practice. It's just to get them in shape for the season. We would not let them wear cleats. No way. No way.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ball. The
No.
ball.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the rat.
They're indoor.
Yeah, there are indoor balls that are used for indoor practices, and then there are outdoor balls that are used for like game days and practices that are outside.
Well,
What's the material of the indoor ball?
also pick and roll
Pick and roll is.
Tuesday is already blocked for that. Those Thursdays.
I was
Pick and
so
roll.
excited when I saw this agenda and I saw Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday for pick and roll, because we were just looking for a couple of weeks.
Patrick, I think.
Patrick, would you like to chime in here?
Yeah, I think I already stated that there's a conflict and I saw on the agenda for a few weeks, I'd be,
Okay.
they can have it. We can go in later afterwards.
Okay. Let me just, I'm very concerned about the lacrosse ball and the wear on that floor. I just,
What's an indoor ball look like a tennis ball?
It's a tennis ball.
Joe,
Is this an organization that has insurance?
do you have
Oh, yeah.
insurance?
Oh my gosh, yes, of course, to play lacrosse for the youth county.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes is good.
Local kids?
Yeah, where are they from, Lauren? Where are these kids coming from?
So the program used to be fully based out of Lee and Dalton. And now they're out of Dalton.
Well, then why are they coming to South County to practice?
Well, the kids are from Great Barrington, Housatonic, West Stockbridge, Sheffield, Lee, Cheshire, Hinsdale, North Adam.
How many kids are there?
For this exact program that would be in the Hoosie Dome, it would be like up to 15.
How many?
15. One moment.
What kind of damage did you see on the floors? What are you concerned about?
Well, lacrosse sticks have that plastic, and when you
Yeah.
go to school, I don't know, I'm feeling a little protective of the floor, because
no, I'm just.
Chamberlain will come over the seats at me.
I think we give him a chance.
Where else have you asked for indoor space?
I have asked Lee Middle and High School. I have asked I've asked Steve Souls for the Berkshire Hills spaces. I have asked the town hall in West Stockbridge where the gym is.
How many other spaces have given you approval?
Berkshire School gave us approval.
So
Berkshire
none of
School?
the other, none of the public schools are giving you space. Go ahead, Alana.
Well, she wouldn't be here if somebody else
Yeah.
gave her.
Well, I know, but my question is, why not?
They have baseball. They are catering to baseball and soccer for the spring season. Lacrosse is a little bit more of like a undersold sport in this area.
Okay,
Karen, could
yeah, Bill.
Could we try it for a week? See what it's like? We can go down and see what the flow looks like, if it's
Are you willing to be the guardian?
of the Hoosie Dome.
Yes.
Would Terry Chamberlain give me that?
For that 1 week? Will you just be the?
gotta get the approval from my son.
No,
If
I'm
it-
serious.
Oh, no.
If it helps
I'm
to
nervous.
understand, like, we just spent the entire season for both of our kids at the Hoosie Dome, and I did this like amazing post about how awesome it was and how much we loved it. We love the Hoosie Dome. I actually need to return the 3-4 girls champion trophy to the Hoosie Dome. So we are also very concerned about the condition of the building. We love the building. I went there as a kid, like for many years of my life. So we would be responsible. Russ, my husband, is the coach of the lacrosse team. He just-
Okay, I've got the
Okay.
biography.
Okay.
Could we
How
do it?
many of these participants are Great Barrington residents?
I would have to get the full roster. I don't even know the kids' names. We had to problem with the registration program because it said they're shutting it down and now they can't send emails. So I'm trying
Okay.
I'm trying to help a woman who is doing 5 different leagues by herself. So like it was very disorganized last year, so I'm trying to help be an
Okay.
advocate.
Thank you, Lauren. Alana,
What, I mean, is there such thing as a damage deposit?
Is there what?
So-
a damage deposit.
Because like, I think it's really important that we use the space for as many
Yeah, I agree.
varied activities as possible, but I also think it's reasonable to expect people to be responsible for the space. These are the experts on what this sport involves, so if they say that it's not going to do damage, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, and also to back it up with something that protects us if something needs to be done to
Fix
fix it.
What do you think? How much?
I mean, you know, it's somewhat token, but like $250 that they get back at the end of this, you know, 6
Matt,
week program.
where's the Godfather? I'm curious how you feel about this.
I mean, I understand the concerns. Look, I mean, indoor ball, it's clearly made to not do damage. The sticks would be the issue, scooping off the floor and whatnot. But again, I don't play lacrosse, so I don't know. It's not really my say.
Could we consider,
All right, this one, I'm gonna make a proposal. March 23rd, this Thursday at 5:30. You go with your herd of turtles and go do that. And Mr. Meyer and or Mr. Norton, or maybe even Ms. Smith will come and watch. And if we figure you're doing bad things, we'll throw you out. If not, we'll let this go on for the next, to use the building is what we need to do. To use it for pickleball, for yoga, for basketball, for as many things as we can use it for is a good idea. So I'm offering that, Ms. Hyde. How about that?
That sounds excellent. And I can also shorten the time. When I put this down, I put down a 2-hour slot, but we could adjust the time as well to an hour and a half.
Why don't we just go with the 2 hours on the Thursday provisionally? If we don't see a problem, I would suggest that it could, go for the 4 weeks. 5 weeks, 1, 2, 5 weeks.
And then
Okay.
Matt or Patrick, we can talk to you guys about the timing so that
Okay.
you guys can get in there too, if that is okay with the Parks and Rec Committee.
Okay. That's my motion.
Okay.
Steve seconded it.
But my concern is that this is an outside group, it's outside our community. Monument no longer has, although there are some kids who do travel over to the Lee Lennox, team and play there, but this is a group that is not centered in this community, which is this community's building. I just have concerns about us traveling down this road for people who are not residents of the town of Great Barrington. And I know, we used to have lacrosse at Monument. It didn't last very long. Although there are a number of girls that do participate in league.
Maybe this would help with that.
Hmm?
Maybe this would help with that.
I doubt it.
Well,
Been down this road a long time ago.
okay. Things change. I believe, I know Lauren Hyde. I know she's in the community. I know what she's trying to do is to do something for kids. And to keep kids occupied, I think is a good idea. So I understand that, we are not the taker carers of all of South County, but we've ended up that way in a lot of spaces and places. So I would like us to approve that.
I also say, we're seeing a lot of people willing to compromise, which is, you guys are great.
Yeah,
It's great. It's perfect. Thank you.
okay.
also, the winter basketball program, which is so successful,
Right,
involves people from all over as well, not just Great
Right.
Barrington.
right.
So I don't see that being an issue if we're doing stuff like this to keep sport and athleticism and kids involved. So I don't have the same.
Any other comments from the committee? If not, I'll take a motion.
There's a motion and a
There's been a
second.
motion and a second. I call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Opposed.
So it's 8-1, Carolyn.
Thank you.
See you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
right.
Yeah, that
I'll bring the-
Chamberlain and Norton's. were
I'll bring the
my-
trophy, Terry.
I have dog class on Thursday.
What?
Waiver for this group also.
Waiver. You need waivers for everybody, Lauren.
Okay, I'll get that from Carolyn.
Get back with Joe Aberdale.
Well, yeah, she can communicate with Carolyn. I'll get it.
Carolyn, and we'll get it that way, but we want waivers for all the kids, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Rogers, now can I call on you? What do you want to do now?
Well, we are hoping to again use the Town Park gazebo area for our annual summer concert series, which was initiated 40 odd years ago when David Grover started playing. So we're looking to use the park and the gazebo Wednesdays and Fridays, starting mid-June until the beginning of September. So concerts are weather permitting. I've been involved with organizing concerts for the last 10 years. We think it's a win-win. It gives people that live in the community a place to see music, live music for free. We do get funding from the town, which is allocated every year. We also get a lot of community support things
Okay,
from businesses.
great.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, motion approved, second. You and Mr. Aberdale have had chats as to, we don't know when we're gonna be redoing back of town hall, do we?
It's highly likely it'll be this year, it'll probably be next spring.
Okay, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, this is a summer type of thing.
Take the lead. There's a motion and a second. And that's all we need to know. It's probably not gonna be this summer,
Okay,
okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None, unanimous.
thank you.
The Great Barrington Millers, are you here?
Indeed.
Oh, I didn't notice him with his winter cover. Well, winter cover in your case, Mr. Anderson. Is there anything, I know you have been in great chat with Mr. Gappa and Mr. Paul, who's otherwise engaged because it's sign up for high school softball and baseball, and he couldn't be here tonight. So I'm gonna sit in his stead along with you. Is there anything special that's gonna happen? I mean, that field needs some work, doesn't it?
Yeah, I have a short list. I mean, Mr. Averdale and I have been in touch about the schedule for the potential redo after our season. It would
In
be nice.
September.
Yeah, it would be nice for us to have some material to work with if we can. In the past, we've come to shop for bags of mound mix and plate mix, but
Yeah, so we will have that, and I think Steven's run it up to you before, we need a bucket or two.
yeah, that would be nice to have a bucket or two sitting next to the shed.
Great.
I
We
mean,
just typically buy the infield mix.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of tons doesn't go very far, you know, by the time you.
Yeah.
Do we have a mower that they can use? Yes?
I can't honestly remember if that got replaced or
So
not.
there's two mowers. They're-
That, there, what, I know, we bought it.
I feel like it,
It's time for a lawnmower in service for Babe Ruth, the Millers, and Little League. So there's gonna be a Saturday where all of you mower operators can meet and have a wonderful time with any designee of the DPW to make sure that the machines are used in an appropriate fashion.
well, we don't use that thing,
But
You'll be the devil.
we don't use it other than to drag with. We don't actually cut anything, right? We never do that. You all mow.
We do mow, but if
Yeah.
you want more than one mowing a week or something like that.
Oh, that sounds great.
well, that was the whole reason to buying the $5,000 lawnmower.
We mow whenever you like. That's wonderful. And of course, Chip and Paul and I, as the Millers, we tend to do most of the weeding and care and raking and trimming and stuff like that.
Okay,
We would love it if the clippings didn't make it on dirt. I know it's tough sometimes.
mow out, not in.
Yeah, and I would love it if, at the end of last season, our line machine, the new line machine is actually worse than the old line machine. Surprise, surprise. That old machine is not bad that needs to be repaired or replaced with something that's really good. The new one kind of. Well,
Where does one go to repair a line machine?
By the time you
Anybody
repair it, you
fixes
might as well
anything.
buy a new one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so. Mr. Tonetti, your hand was
Just saying
moving.
that the Little League, one of the two that are down at the fields, at Olympia Meadows, one of the two of them broke and I tried to take it apart and fix it, but it seemed to be, a little tricky, to get it to operate properly. So there is one working a little bit there.
We do need a handy person for a line machine.
I know the last one that I bought for the softball, when I was still involved with that, I paid $5 at a tag sale. We got good 5-6 years.
You're a
out
good
of it.
Irish shopper, that's why.
And they're in
Okay.
the shed now, I think locked, there might be a new lock on it, I think it'll resolve, so.
Okay,
Could we
I
buy-
have
we buy
ultimate
one?
faith that you guys are gonna figure out the locks and the mowers that. Mr. Aberdale will make sure that that ban works well. Any other questions, concerns, or issues for the adult baseball league?
Can we buy new line machines? Well,
Sure.
why don't we get a new one? for-
How much
I
they
take it
cost?
we own it.
What?
I take it we own the slime machine.
I don't think so.
We don't own it.
I guess we
Yeah,
do.
if it's the one that I'm thinking of, we bought it years
Did
ago.
you do it?
For me.
All right, what does it cost for a line machine?
A couple $100.
Couple $100.
$299 or $250 to all the way to like 700, 900, stuff like that, so there's different versions of it.
Well,
That's all.
I'm gonna trust you
Here.
gentlemen and ladies to figure out
Yep.
what's the best bang for the buck. I can see us owning a line machine. It would not be a bad thing to have. Two of them.
You want to recommend something?
I'll make a recommendation, I'll send it to you.
There we go. See,
Motion to approve.
Second.
all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Great Barrington Baseball, the Babe Ruth. So Chip's not here. I gotta tell you, of all the guys that have done any work other than, and I would leave Mr. Ingersoll as part of it, for the baseball field, Chip Paul is my hero. He and his wife do more work than anybody I've ever seen in weeding and everything else. So I would champion this request. And we will have insurance update as soon as things. So if there are any other,
Move to accept.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next. Haywee Performing Arts. Are you here? Where is
And just unmute yourself.
Ms. Wardis?
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Wait
And
a minute, I
Janice
got a
did-
question. Chairman, why'd you bring the army? What'd you think was gonna happen? What'd you think was gonna happen?
Just to be safe.
I'm here and Janice should be let in as well.
There she is.
Hello. Hello, hello. So-
Okay, so you want to use it July 15th from 9 AM to 9 PM. And you're gonna set it up on the 14th. And you're gonna take it down on Monday the 17th, correct?
And yes, and we have a letter in writing from the Haywee tent saying that it will be down by noon on the 17th.
Good. Because I
Yes.
don't want to have to hear grumpy baseball players.
And we will withhold payment until that is done.
Good idea. Excellent. Any other questions, concerns, or issues from the commission? Who's the artist, by the way?
We can't tell you yet. We're about to announce it, but it's still under wraps.
Do we all get ticket? Never.
Motion to approve.
Broadway, veteran
Okay.
Broadway performer
Thank you
and
very much.
television. You can narrow it
Okay.
down a little.
Bernadette Peters, no, that's a good guess. Though. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, none, next.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, Parks here, Memorial Field update, we know where that is, it's gonna be in September. Grove Street and Dewey Park need public input. Where are we, ladies?
Well, we were thinking that we'd want to get the public input meeting on the agenda for the next meeting, which would be in April.
I don't think we should schedule it the same time as a meeting.
You don't?
Nope.
That's what we had discussed when I talked to you that.
Well, here's the problem. The next meeting is scheduled for a Tuesday, which does not bode well. We're gonna have to move it to either Wednesday because Tuesdays don't work for people.
Or just do a different public input meeting.
Correct, but I want you guys, have you come up with a framework for it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
At the last meeting, we just, pretty much outlined what we had been discussing, Dave and I, we had been meeting a few times.
Yeah.
About it, and we just kind of, thought about just a general framework to renovate a grove and to kind of start as a, with Dewey as a blank slate. Kind of like a model for how we should approach our parks that would be inclusive of all of the users. Playground users, leisure, athletes, just how this committee has said, like all of these playgrounds belong to everybody in the community. So we wanted to kind of start with this guiding principle that would also, that would create inviting spaces and kind of hubs. Because right now, a lot of people, especially playground users, they leave playgrounds for parks outside of our community. So Sri Dave and I were talking about how we could create these parks that would be very inclusive and create playgrounds, because we're just talking about playgrounds now, that would be very inviting for parents and children. And we thought, let's not do just like this very generic plastic platform system model, but kind of talk about integrating the playground as part of a larger park. And think about not incorporating plastic elements, kind of do something, take a modern approach. And so, because Karen, if we offer, people the choice between like 4 different elements for a playground, people are going to choose every single one. There's going to be at least one vote for everything. And if we're going to say like, okay, 50% chose a slide, we're not just going to build, install a slide. And I thought if we think about it as like a holistic, larger model, I think that would be a very nice approach. And I feel like
I think it's a great approach. Please set up the framework for it, come up with a date, and figure out how you want to run that meeting. I'm leaving that to you to get the input.
that's fine. I think that's fine. We can pretty much provide the same presentation that we did for last month's meeting and just invite the public to weigh in.
Great.
Because I think for Dewey, especially if we start from a blank slate, they have to understand that it's going to be more expensive than any of the parks that we've built. It's going to be time consuming to get it, constructed.
But you also realize the people at Dewey don't want anything put there. The neighborhood does not want.
Well, that's why the input is really
That's
important.
why I
because
want you to be, and the other thing that I think is important is budget.
Yes,
I mean,
it's very important.
Grove Street. I mean, we have money, but we don't have an unlimited.
I guess I understand. And we were talking about last month, we were saying that we were almost like willing to kind of just go with it with Grove Street because it's already built up. And so we could just kind of replace existing elements. But with Dewey, we have an opportunity to sell this as a hub for Great Barrington, for tourists, for locals, for everybody in the community. Mansfield is a draw because of the lake for the summer and the playground, but we want something that's usable by the community year round. And it is going to be a budget cost, there's going to be we need a big budget, but we're going to need the time to even.
Well, you're not going to get a big budget, so I want you to realize that you will
Well-
have a phase issue.
Well, that's what I mean.
Phasing.
We have to phase because it's going to cost probably double or triple what we've done across, around Big Barrington in the other parks. Because we want somebody to design, we want natural elements, we want to incorporate the design, playground design as part of a larger system.
Okay.
And so we would just present that to the public.
Just so you know, another thing coming in is the piece of property at the bottom of Grove Street, where the bridge is,
Yeah.
that's owned by the CDC. They want to give it to us.
Oh. Well, I think this is a really.
Let
great-
me explain about the gift. This gift has a bridge on it. It probably will be $150,000 to get safe. So, beware the Trojan horse. So I just want you to know,
CDC money to fix it?
what?
Does it come with CD setting money to fix it?
No, see, that wasn't part of the deal. And that was when Chris said, oh, Karen, I think we should talk about it in April. I said, oh, yeah, you talk about it if it comes with a check to fix the bridge.
But I feel if we have public discussion and, you
Right.
know, a good.
It should be
goodwill,
part of the,
we could potentially, you know, make it a multi-year effort where we can, you know, conserve funds.
Good.
And make something really amazing.
you can also apply to CPA.
And we can apply to CPA. Yeah.
I think you girls have done a nice job, you ladies, and you just come up with the time and what you want to do in a day, and we'll set that up as a public information. Yes, Mr. Aberdeen.
On the Grove Street part, one thing we need to address is parking. Because if you're gonna, you know, grow that park.
You've got 4 parking
Four
spots.
parking spots.
That's it.
Okay.
And maybe, I was looking at the lay of the land on this new piece, it doesn't seem like that's gonna help parking.
It's not gonna help anything for parking.
But I feel like the Dewey Hall Dewey Hall. Dewey Park is probably going to be a place where we're going to like focus more of our efforts because Grove Street is a very unusual parcel as it is, and we may just, it might be worthwhile just to replace the existing elements right away and save like a bigger effort for Dewey Park. And I had another question for you, about Dewey. Number one, why don't people want something there? And number 2,
That's something you have to talk to them about.
Yeah.
Neighbors at the time made it very clear that open space is what they really want.
I've never seen anybody there. And I feel that we can make open space. Like I said last month, we've looked at it. It's a large parcel. It's an opportunity to,
It's a great place for 2 pickleball courts.
it's a great place for courts. But, you know, there is open space.
Yeah,
And there's
open
room for
space,
courts, there's room
playground
for
equipment.
benches, there's room for shade trees. It can be a place where so many people can actually use this park. I've never seen a soul there.
I'm not sure the neighbors are so crazy about the idea of people using the park.
That's a big.
Now you have finally hit it. See, this is where we really need to make people understand that the parks in Great Barrington don't belong to the neighborhoods.
That's what you've been saying for months and months, and we took that into consideration.
And I think it's really important that in the input, when they say, well, I think this isn't your park. It's like Grove Street. The neighbors of Grove Street don't get to determine every piece of equipment that's in Grove Street.
Yes, and we have examples from different parks. that are very successful.
I'm ready to let you ladies do this.
I have
I
one more
tell you what.
question. Can we bring in a park, playground builder who has like over 30 years experience in building natural playgrounds, just to speak, he's willing to,
How much is it gonna cost?
nothing.
To speak.
As long as he
To
ain't got,
speak, not to speak, just to address, if he has, the time to come on that date.
I don't have a problem with having consultants. come-
Knowledge for free?
No.
Yeah, no, it would be for free.
If Chamberlain says it's good, we know we're good. No, but so why don't you guys come up with a date,
Okay,
okay?
Yeah.
But let's,
Yeah.
I know you want to say something, go.
If we're talking about a consultant or a representative from a company that sells parks,
It's somebody who has built natural playgrounds, built and designed natural playgrounds for over 30 years, and he worked with a team from London, generally, don't worry.
okay, but no, you don't have
And
to go.
sorry.
I just want to be sure that we're not talking about a representative from a company. who will tell us what he-
Like Hot Pan Big Toys.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
Designer, and
It's not.
It is a designer. It is a designer.
but he doesn't represent a company.
He is his own company. It is a company, but we're not making any kind of,
Commitment.
Is the company equipment supplier too?
Maybe we'll-
That's what he's looking for.
No. they
This is
build-
not a direct pipeline problem.
That's what
They build from scratch. They build from scratch.
I
Okay,
mean, it's fine if the stuff
Great.
is on a bid list, but we can't promise somebody that because you've designed and worked on this, we're gonna buy stuff from
There's
you.
no commitment whatsoever,
all right.
and also the link to his company is at the handout that we gave you last month, so you can call if you want, look it up. There's no.
okay,
And
great.
also, we're not talking about having this person design it at this stage. We're
No,
just-
he's coming to check.
No, just to advocate for natural, you know.
Which
creative
will work beautifully. I think that the natural approach as opposed to the neon plastic
Yeah,
is an excellent concept.
yeah. And can I just say one more thing?
Quickly.
Okay, last month, just as an example, if anyone goes to Boston, I went to Boston last month. And there's a new playground behind town hall with every element that we had discussed in our proposal.
Did you take pictures?
I did. And the kids who were with me said, I hear you're on the Berkshire Parks Committee. Take lots of pictures, because this is what all kids want. And so I took tons of pictures, and it's beautiful, and it's.
Get in
small.
touch with me.
Yeah,
I think
it's
we need to,
wonderful.
we can put them on a Google page or something.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Let's put them on a Google Doc or something, so we can see. Okay,
So do you want this meeting after our April meeting?
Well, first of all, whenever this gentleman is available, would be your
Yeah.
starting point.
why don't you start with him and see what he says? Okay,
Could he come to
because we're
this
gonna have,
Parks meeting? Would that be?
I don't want to dummy this up on the
Right.
Parks meeting, because we're
Yeah, all
having
right.
enough trouble as it is getting,
Yeah, April,
We need a different week.
it's vacation week.
it's vacation week. That's the problem with that week
Yeah.
also. So we may want to go to the next week. I don't know. I'll get to the rescheduling the meeting after this. Let's just go through. Grove Street, okay, so we need public input. Now, first thing of old business. We are changing the agenda at the behest of Mr. Meyer and Mr. Norton. On the update in the Olympian Meadows repurpose, can somebody please catch me up in a summary form? What was discussed last month?
So Tom and Joe and I met on the Sunday before our last meeting
Right,
down at Olympian Fields. And we decided that instead of changing the path and making any major changes to the field down there and Joe has already laid some great posts where we can have the outline of the soccer field. So put in a soccer field that's not necessarily regulation at this point, buy the goals, buy all the necessary equipment, get the necessary equipment, it's basically just goals. And put the soccer field in down there for this season. Just do it, and then as the summer wears on, we get a surveyor down there and we look at how we can lay it out so that we can have a regulation field and shoot for that, just expanding it out by two sides and an end for the following year.
why can't we, why is it a soccer field? Why can't it be a multi-use field? Why can't it be a girls softball field and also used as a?
And what we'd like to do is the one corner that's now where the girls softball field is, to incorporate that corner as the softball field. By a movable backstop, because the backstop was a big issue, by a movable backstop that's $1,700. I have all the
Okay.
pieces that we need.
Good.
By a movable backstop, and then also have movable bags. I mean, some of the guys are just saying that they just want to practice sliding and just.
They only want base cutouts. That's all they want.
Right, so we can put those, we got those here, we just put those right, we can put them in a shed. And when people want to practice, put those down, when the guys aren't playing soccer. So we have a soccer field and a softball practice field in one shop.
And a pee-wee football field.
And a pee-wee football field, a multi-use field.
We'll see what the problem is.
Let's do it.
I make a proposal.
Okay, so you're not eliminating the softball field.
No, we are not. In fact, we're gonna incorporate it in. It's gonna be the most unique soccer field that's ever been created. Terry, so I just looked at some goals. I found some goals that seem to work, 4,752.
For two soccer goals?
For two soccer goals.
What are they made out of? Like sand?
They're indestructible, Karen.
Indestructible.
Hope so down there.
And then I have bases, $350 for the bases that you can pick up and put down. And then I have a movable portable baseball backstop with top and sides that are not extra for $1,700.
So Bill, the bases, would they still be the cutout? For the bases?
There needs to be a dirt cutout where the bases are for that.
Why?
because that's what the softball needs.
That's how they,
That's how they, that's how they roll.
you're not gonna have grass. You're gonna
You can't
your
have
dirt
grass,
cut
you
out.
gotta have cutout.
Well, if that's something we need, then we can make it work.
I can't, explain to me, this would be the only thing is you have the cutouts where the bases are, you need a sliding path and whatever.
What, but we already have a softball field. Why,
Yeah, I
why do
thought
we,
this was
why
a
do we,
field that
why do we
wasn't
need
being
this?
used.
Why do we need this?
You're gonna
What-
take away a 40-year softball field because you wanna put soccer down there.
What,
No.
Steve,
Come on.
you know, it's
Yeah.
like, as the athletic director up at Simon's Rock, I get calls all the time by adults, by a variety of kids. Can we use your soccer field? I get nobody calling me about baseball or softball.
That's because
I
we
am-
provide a softball field, they don't need one.
I am not, I think tradition and what's happened down at Olympia Meadows is super important. All you guys have put a ton of work into that. But there are a lot of people that want to play soccer right now.
I'm not against that, I just wanna see the softball field stay down there and have a multi-purpose field. That's all.
How do we do that?
Well, that's your challenge.
Well, we've always had problems when you look at, conversion of baseball fields and football fields, let's say, not even soccer, football, where the field incorporates the infield, the infield of the baseball field is the part that gets that you have to try to protect, and that's what you're trying to say, Steve.
No, that's not what we're
The-
saying.
the
What we're
infield-
saying for the softball is you need sliding paths for first, second, and third base. I'm talking
not
about
the
a
whole-
cutout,
Not the whole end.
not an
the whole
infield.
Right, but
Just where the base is.
and how,
A dirt area.
a dirt area that's what,
Can-
6 by 6, something like that.
Something like that, whatever's
Yeah.
down there now. So we could totally do that.
We could incorporate
We
that
could
into
incorporate
a
that.
That's all we're saying.
We're not against it.
I don't want, first of all, we're not gonna spend a ton of money to redo that junior field. We're gonna take the money that we were gonna spend to redo it and buy all these accoutrements. And you also have to have a place you can put them so it can be stored.
Can the goals stay out year round?
I think the goals are pretty much.
Okay.
Those are.
You understand what I'm saying? Is like.
Yeah.
From my understanding, Ellen's like, they don't need to spend a whole lot of money, but they want that field to be able to be used for junior kids. So if we got sliding areas and all that stuff, goody. It doesn't have to be full cutouts.
Yeah, no, I'm,
Get it?
I'm sorry if I,
Yeah.
it's like, I just. I'm not a baseball guy, so I'm not a soccer guy, so.
Mr.
I'm not a soccer guy either.
Gentlemen,
It's like, I'm-
Gentlemen, Mr. Gibbons.
Instead of this conversation back and forth between two individuals, why don't we go to this location? And instead of talking to generalities, go down and look at what can be best placed.
Yeah.
The softball field can be moved to a different location down there. We can accommodate these things, but we need to be there so we can all be looking at the same thing. Talking about abstract ideas
Look at
for
that.
people who aren't.
Oh, look
this,
at
who
this
aren't
picture
that,
right here.
Isn't gonna work.
Well, we were sent,
So,
Karen
my
asked us,
suggestion,
Oh, stop, Paul, stop.
we were sent down there to
do
do
that.
this.
There you
And,
can.
and we've come up with that, and Joe,
This was before we went down there, but basically you can get a regulation size field in width-wise. You can't get it in lengthwise.
Lengthwise, right.
Okay, but it will miss the backstop. I think we
Correct.
can leave the backstop there. And the two sets of fence that protect the benches where the players sit,
Right,
those are
that-
just temporary fences.
Those
They
are
can
no
be
fence,
picked
yeah,
up and moved. Right.
they've
only
been there a couple of years.
Right, so you can easily move those back and forth and slide them aside. But, like you said, you leave your footprint of your field, the baseball or the softball field there. And we're not looking at any grading or anything. We're just, at this point, you're measuring the usage.
That's right.
Okay,
can we still, now, I mean, this is a good picture. Because I think that we can reorient this field and accommodate soccer, softball, lacrosse, whatever, down there. In the space that we have allotted. But we need to be there so that we can all see it. You say you're not a baseball guy. Karen is, I don't know, you're everything. So
Nice
we
save.
need to be there.
I don't think,
Why can't we do that?
why can't we just look at the map that's there and
Okay,
and
okay.
work with it?
I
mean-
understand, you're talking to people of age.
Right.
I think what's important is that I think this is a good map. I think this is an excellent idea. But I think that what Mr. Gibbons is saying, remember, he was a physics teacher. He's talking about a little tactile event here. We need to go be able to see where the field would be, where the softball. So if it was laid out with stakes, I think that would be a good idea. We could
It is
do that
laid
at our
out.
next meeting, okay?
Is this something that you're suggesting we do a site visit with a whole,
Friggin'
with a whole committee?
Right.
Okay,
Like
well,
next meeting, which we'll get to, we will start off with the site visit, okay? We'll meet there first.
So can we buy these accoutrements before then, so that we're ready to go? I mean, let's do this. All we're talking about is citing this, but let's prepare to have people being able to get out there.
can I make a suggestion? Why don't we let Mr. Everdale
So
take a look at some of these things and maybe he might have some input
Sure.
about what's available too, or budget and money, so we can get something down.
I know you did, darling, but you have to let the new team do it, okay?
that stuff, they have to go out to bid for.
Just to get it in the works.
Well, if it's over X amount of money, you don't have to, because none of these are above that threshold.
Each individual.
They're not.
Do you know how much we have in our budget right now left?
Oh, we've
Joe.
got like 100.
145,000.
Yeah.
All right,
We have plenty of money.
you got a price for those soccer goals, that was for two of them, correct?
Yeah.
The 47. I move that we allot up to $5,000 to purchase two appropriately sized soccer goals.
And will these have wheels on them so they can be moved around? Or is-
Well, that's up to you, Joe. I mean, it's, do we want that? You know, because like,
Oh, maybe.
I'm just-
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it helps, because then you can do it out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
are these part of your team? Are these the hidden guys over here, the hidden soccer moms?
I think they're soccer support.
Yeah, I just want to make. and you know who's voting this way. Who are you? What is your name, sir? Mark what? Oh, I know. who you are. All right, now the picture is getting there. I can feel my dials getting dialed
I
in
mean,
here.
these guys came here. to-
Oh, I know what the hell's going on. It's all right.
Motion.
I would like to have you withdraw that
second.
motion. I'd like to do the goals, the backstop, and the bases. Order them all,
I think you need a backstop.
you know? Okay,
The layout of the field stays in front of the backstop.
okay, great.
And we normally provide bases down there, don't we, Joe?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, so
It
that's not a
might be a
problem.
different style if they can't be removed.
I second Mr. Gibbons's motion.
Basis.
All right, good. So we're gonna authorize the purchase of the portable soccer goals. And we are gonna have a site visit, and Mr. Firth, you can show up for that one too. Oh, I want you there.
And that goes along with the new line machine.
Oh, yeah, we get the line machine too.
We could demonstrate that, don't
Yeah, you can demonstrate it. Okay, all those in favor of the $5,000 threshold for the soccer goals signify by saying aye.
we?
Aye. Opposed, none. Very good. Great. Anything else you want to whine about today, guys? And we got you all covered now, Tom and Bill? You happy? I got whiny emails. I just want to make sure we got all that taken care of. Okay.
Does anybody from, well. you
Mr.
guys-
Mr. Berkshire South, you're not here. Lake Mansfield Task Force. What is the name of the game with the playground equipment at Lake Mansfield? Is that part still back ordered?
I don't.
Could you
It hasn't been
please?
done. Yeah, I will.
Somebody needs a bit of a foot somewhere.
Hmm.
Railroad Street Youth Project, scheduling the community center. Oh, my God, please.
Railroad Street Youth.
Yes.
So,
Are they here? Who's here?
Right there,
Regina,
there.
what you got? Get your hands up, speak.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everybody.
Speak up.
Okay, so I don't have a lot of different updates for you today. I wanted to talk about how we have some applications rolling in for skate park attendance. A lot of people are interested, upwards of like 7 people. So we're collecting applications and we'll be able to have a good staff coming up by May 1st. We are still looking for a group mentoring skate park coordinator. So I don't know if y'all want to connect after this, or if I can grab some emails, maybe I'll send it to Carolyn, but I would love to send y'all the job description and see if y'all know folks in your network. That would be a great skate park coordinator, and also join these meetings with me. And then I wanted to also talk about parking a little bit, because that's always an issue for us. Specifically thinking about how I think there's going to be construction starting across the street sometime soon, I've heard, and just want to think about how we can get folks coming to Memorial Field and to the skate park and not feel like a burden, you know, and not drive them away. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, that is something that is not within the Park and Rec purview. That's in the purview of the police department and the DPW. So I suggest you chat with them, because I'm not gonna mess with anybody's parking down there,
Okay.
because it's whatever. Okay, anything else that you need from us?
No, that's it. If I could just send the job description to
Please do,
Carolyn.
send them to Carolyn and she can disseminate it to everybody.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. New business. It has come to our attention through the Great Barrington Historical Commission that South Street Park was originally deeded in 1925 by the heirs of Colonel George and Maria Church with the following provision: that said land shall be held, used, and maintained by said town as a public park in memory of said Maria L. Church and Colonel George Church, her husband, now deceased 97 years ago. Mr. Okerstrom Lang has also let the Historical Commission know that basically they are requesting that we change the name of the South Street Park to the Church Memorial Park.
I'll make a motion that we change the name to Church Memorial Park if we are also able to put some sort of plaque down there, because no one's gonna know what that means otherwise.
That's a great idea.
I have an idea. That's
I
a
like
great idea. I think that somebody should go to the Historical Commission.
And Jim Mercer too.
Oh, good. Put him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him.
Okay, good.
James, can you hear me? Jim Mercer.
Mute.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
I think that if the Parks Commission is giving permission to change the name, that the Historical Commission should pay for the sign.
You have your money.
Tell your troubles to Jesus.
How many
And I got people to recreate. I would suggest you do a fundraiser for that. And you can tell Mr. Mercer if he ever decides to become verbal. I think that should be, we can make that a joint effort. First of all, find out what it would cost and we could, I think we should all participate in that.
Thanks.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any other questions, concerns, or issues about the renaming of the South Street Park to the Church Memorial Park?
I think it'd be good to have some kind of an event to explain why that is.
I think that's a great idea. Always time for a party. Maybe we can
Absolutely.
find somebody who owns a restaurant in town to cater it. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? No. Citizens, do you have any speaks you want to talk about?
So I think I'll soccer field. Yeah, thank you. Yes, we are. It's the world's game.
It is.
I just spent 6 weeks in Kenya. You don't have to tell me what the world's game is about. I know that. Citizens of commissioners, does anybody have anything they want to talk about?
The April meeting.
The April meeting, can we move it to Wednesday at 5:15?
Not that week.
Oh, you don't like that week?
Thank you.
How about the following Monday? That's the select board. How about the following Wednesday?
Yes, good to see you.
What are we doing?
What is this in the meeting?
We're trying to
Meeting.
change the
April
meeting
meeting.
because can we do it the 26th?
No, I'm gone the 2 weeks at the end of
Got it.
April.
How about earlier? Would it work earlier? Like the
Moving up a
10th?
week?
Move it up a week?
No, the 10th was, I think we already, yeah, the 10th. is a select board meeting. It'd have to be
The 11th?
Wednesday of that week.
11th or 12th.
We're trying to avoid Tuesdays. How about Wednesday, the 12th? Can we do it? I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal. Wednesday, the 12th,
At 5.
5:15.
And we're
there.
gonna meet at the,
Wednesday, the
Olympia-
12th at 5:15, meet at the field.
Olympia Meadows.
April.
You're right, we're talking about April. the
I'm
next
a
meeting.
big girl.
Goals by then, because we can put on the demonstration.
No. No, I don't know. What's your name? Brennan who?
Right.
Brian? All right. Nice move. No, they won't be here by then.
Just make sure Carolyn posts the site visit. And this.
Yeah.
Post it.
Wednesday at
If you don't discuss it,
5:15,
We don't have a secretary.
4:12.
Where we at? We're April, right?
April 12th, 5:15, Olympian Meadows. Da. And we'll do the site visit, and gentlemen, you will have things laid out so the tactile learning experience can happen, right?
Yes,
I thought
So
so.
you've already got it.
it's already, Joe did it, Joe did it.
I just want to make sure it's done, that's all.
Mhm.
Commissioners, does anybody have any, Julie, do you have anything you'd like to chat about today?
No, I'm very happy about the soccer.
Oh, I'm glad you're happy.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Meyer?
Thank you. And I just want to say, I do not want to step on anybody's feet or say that anybody's traditions are not valid, but we do have people that play soccer, right?
I'm trying to turn
What are
it
you
on.
doing?
Stay. Namaste, okay?
So it's good. Thank you.
That's good. Mr. Norton?
Thank you for, I think, the getting youth and people involved in outdoor activities in all capacities is a great thing. and
Marvelous.
Encourage it.
Mr. Chamberlain?
I am good for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gibbons? I thought so. Mr. Bannon?
My night's well.
Ms. Siegel?
I'm fine.
Ms. Reddy? Ms. Smith? Thank you for all coming. Yes, Mr. Aberdale, you can say, what would you like to say?
Youth services. We have down at the skate park, we have Railroad Street does that,
Yes.
and we have Lake Mansfield, and then we got Houston. So last year, we went out before my time, they went out to bid for FY 23 with an option to extend it to FY 24.
Yeah.
Railroad Street has agreed to, if the money's approved by town meeting, to extend their contracts. And talking with Berkshire South, they feel Lake Mansfield, they can work on staffing that. They have to up until July 1, they're funded for that. And depending on town meeting, that, but the Housatonic, what's the plans for Housatonic?
It needs to be on the agenda.
Because, well,
Yeah, we need to discuss whether
it's less than 2 people a day.
I know.
So the question becomes, if I just may say, is there no need for it, or is it poorly advertised and poorly in design? I don't have an answer to that. I'm not making any
Do
accusations.
you try it again and advertise it and?
And maybe design a
Services
different
down there?
program, yeah.
I
We
know.
discussed this.
I think we need to talk about that. So
That's a big.
Carolyn, that should be on the agenda. First thing, new business is program at Housatonic. What are we gonna do?
So I'll forward you Denise's last summary. I think y'all have it anyway. She sent it out.
I would forward it, please.
So,
Okay. Any other questions, concerns, or issues?
The budget, do we have to spend that in this period?
Not the capital budget.
No,
They roll it over.
it goes.
That's why I had so much money to spend in the previous year.
Because we haven't spent it, because now we're gonna.
Give them good balls.
Motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. Bye. Thank you, gentlemen.